Honestly, I think it's incredibly rude, and I don't care what they want. If they come back, then...
Because we've already had our truck broken into once. I don't...
If that's her deal, she's got a bad day coming.
Oh, that created a hornet's nest on Facebook. We talked about how much we spent on...
And they were on a trail that should not have been a trail, but they didn't know. They didn't know it was coming. They didn't know it was coming up ahead. They ended up sailing over, I'm calling it a ravine, a cliff.
We made it.
Thank God for that. I need to pull out my compass and we need to strategize as to where in the world we're gonna point, where I'm gonna pull, all that stuff.
And I might have to move rocks and stuff.
Yeah, like those rocks over there will probably have to move.
Okay. All right, y'all, no joke, after about an hour, there he is. We finally got situated in our site. It's not a level site. We're kind of closer to that tree than we want to be, but it's actually more level the further back you go in the site. You can see the front was really bad off.
It was 7.5 inches off.
And then this side needed to go, I don't know. Y'all can just see. We haven't let the slides out yet. Now it does not look level, but it is. Level Mate Pro says it is, right?
It is level, yes.
And we'll use a manual just to make sure.
Now we are at 8,650 feet.
How are we this high?
I don't know, but we are.
So we're only like 500 feet, or yeah, 500 feet shorter than we were, or lower than we were our last spot. All right, on Matthew's turn on the propane, and when he's done with that, he has a very special announcement.
You've got to be careful in these sites. Even when we scouted this site, I was more injured then. I wasn't as healed as I am now. And I didn't get out and look for nails. And I found a whole handful in the dirt of nails, nails, metal staples, a drill bit, and a long drill bit. And Sean found a good old-fashioned tent stake. And I'm thinking, that's bad. So now I'm concerned about, did our tires roll over any of that? How many nails did we get in the tire? And I don't mean finishing nails, I mean big long suckers. So.
And how does that wind up in a boondocking site? This is not a construction zone.
I don't know.
Do y'all see any construction out here?
They were all pretty rusty, so they've been here for a long time.
Yeah. Alright, y'all, so we just got to our boondocking spot today, and this person just pulled in, walked around our RV, past our RV, into the trees, and then walked back to the truck and are leaving. I have no idea. What do you think, Matthew?
If you want to go through somebody else's site, then you knock on the door and you say, hey, I'm sorry, but this is important to me. I got to look around for something. We're going to say, fine. Can we help you? Maybe I can't help much because I still got this thing, but Sean could help. I mean, we can help you. We can at least give us your phone number, and if we see what you're looking for, we can call you. And I'm just assuming the best. Maybe they're just really crummy human beings and they want to scout out a spot so they can like pull in right next to us or something. But this is a one RV spot. No tents, no nothing, just us. So honestly, I think it's incredibly rude. If they come back, then we're going to have a discussion. So I hope they don't come back.
All right, y'all. So we're walking around now after a person invaded our campsite.
So that where our truck is parked right now is where it happened. And it's just the oddest thing. Sean got my attention and I'm like, what's going on? I didn't even really have time. I wanted to kind of, get your bearings for a minute and see where is she going. If she's just a hiker. If she's just a hiker, I think it's incredibly rude to park in somebody's campsite, but I'm not going to go berate her for that. But that's not what she was doing. She walked back in the woods a little bit, looked around, went off trail. Not that there was a trail, there's a little water runoff, but She walked through a few trees and then walked back to her truck, spent a minute in there, had somebody else in the truck, and then they left. So it's just the oddest thing. It's not like it was a hiking trail and she went hiking, because she didn't go very far. She just circled us and left.
We first noticed, because we work back here at the back of our RV, there's our Starlink, which we hate sitting on the ground, but since Matthew's not well yet, we put it here. So she deliberately walked around the Starlink, and she walked through there, up in those trees, like 10 feet, like she was looking for something, but she wasn't calling anything. And then she walked back and got in her truck right there, which our truck was further over there.
Oh yeah, we were not parked there.
And then we put like orange cones over there, and so I don't know. And then they started pointing at our rig from the truck. I don't know, but it's obviously a campsite, because there was a fire ring here when we pulled in. There's even a vacant site across the street if they want a site to pull into.
This bothers me, and I don't, because it's so confusing. I can't make heads or tails of what she was looking for and what they were pointing at us for, so I don't get it.
And did she just get out to walk around so she could scope us out? Like, was she seeing what we had? Because we've already had our truck broken into once. Anyway, so that's day one. I haven't given y'all a site tour yet. I'm waiting for the wind to die down, but
surprise drama.
Day one, and yeah, someone wants to invade our campsite, and there's tons of campsites here. But we are on a mission.
Y'all, this is just the weirdest thing. I want to tell you about this. Of all of our wonderful, amazing, truly people who we love, who each and every one of you who watch these videos of ours, we are so humbled by your viewership, but the YouTube tells us that less than half of you have subscribed. So we're on a mission, and our mission is to get up to 10,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? I know we can do it. Can we do it?
Yeah.
Now,
with y'all's help, we can do it, y'all.
It's absolutely free for you to help us out here. Whether you're on a phone, a tablet, a computer, a TV, it doesn't matter. You're watching on a rock or something, I don't know how that works, but if that's what you're doing, you can hit subscribe, and it's free, and it takes a split second, and you're done. And that would really help us out. That would help YouTube feel better about us as well. So if you do that for us, let's get up to 10,000 subs, and we'll keep you updated.
All right, y'all, the time has come to give you a site tour here at our boondocking spot. This is known as Raspberry Gulch. It's a little north of Salida. I think the town is Nathrop, and it might be close to Buena Vista, Colorado. There's our fire pit with our firewood that was left here, and we have some still in the truck from the other part of the Salida area. Look how pretty this is, y'all. So peaceful. I love the pine trees, and we still have open sky above the RV, so we're getting no pine tree sap on the roof or the truck or the solar panels. We got a pull through site, and we put some orange cones here because it got busy over the weekend and we didn't want to be blocked in. See, there's the first entrance we pulled into, and that's how we're angled. We're angled more west this time, which is good still for summertime. We've have not had to use the generator yet, even though we have gotten rain off and on. It seems like every day, and it's been partly cloudy every day. And then there's Starlink. And then over here, y'all, is a creek. There is no water in it right now, but when we first got here, there was. And then when it rains, it has water. But this is our backyard, y'all. All right, y'all, we are now on the roof. I'm gonna give y'all a rooftop tour of our campsite. Look how massive it is. It's so nice. I love the pine forest, and as you can see, no pine trees above the RV. There's one really close to the back, but it's not above, so no sap. There's the truck again. No pine trees above the truck. All right, let's talk about everybody's favorite subject, eggs.
It's just so thrilling.
And why is there controversy with eggs? Well, if you recall, 2 years ago, we brought up egg prices, and oh, that created a hornet's nest on Facebook, we talked about how much we spent on eggs, and people are like, eggs are not that expensive, but anyways.
They were. Yep, they were.
So now we're in Colorado. I don't know what the deal is with Colorado. I haven't looked it up, but ever since we've been in Colorado, they only let you buy cage-free eggs. That's the only option.
At least at Walmart it is.
And so I've been doing the grocery shopping by myself because he's been hurt. And I don't know if I really paid attention to it, but I don't think they were this expensive. So Matthew actually went to Walmart inside with me today because he's doing better. He's about to hit the 5-week mark. And I saw like an 18 count of cage-free eggs. I think they were large. I don't know. They weren't extra large. And they were like $4 and something, like on the higher end.
40 something or 470
something? For 18 eggs. I'm like, Matthew, this is ridiculous. Why are the eggs going up again? And then we saw right next to it, they had a double pack saran wrapped where you couldn't check the eggs, but they were $5.64. So which one would you buy? Would you buy 18 eggs for $4.40, or would you buy 36 eggs for $5.64? So that's what we did. We took it to the register, checked out and everything. And in Colorado, you have to bag your own groceries in your own bags. So we were busy doing that. It was kind of like playing a game of supermarket sweeps. I mean, she was running and I was like trying to load it in as fast as I could because he just stood there. He couldn't do much yet, but at least he's able to walk into Walmart. We get home, I checked the receipt. I'm like, Matthew, they charged us $9.96 for eggs. So Matthew called, spoke to the manager. He said, unfortunately, we didn't take a picture. And she said, I'm going to go back there. She went back there, and it was true. And she took a picture. It was $5.64. She said, however, it's supposed to be $9.94 or whatever I said it was.
$9.96.
And so we wrote down her name, and she said she took a picture of it. So all we have to do is go back up to customer service, and they will refund us the difference. And so I guess the moral of the story is just be sure you check your receipts. And are the chickens on strike again, or is it just the cage-free chickens? I'm not buying eggs again until we leave Colorado. This is ridiculous. Alright, y'all, we made it back home, and I checked, and we went to Walmart. They gave us a refund, and the girl was like, I can't believe, you got charged double or whatever. And then
You're never going to believe this, y'all.
Yeah, and then I went back and checked, and they did change the price back. But I'm like, I'm really curious what the egg price was a week ago. So we save our receipts. So I went and looked at the receipt from June 15th. It doubled in price within a week. The eggs were $2 and something. So yeah, that double pack we got was $5 something. They just didn't change the price. So can you believe the eggs didn't just go up like 10 cents, 20 cents? It doubled in a week.
That's crazy. It's not gasoline, it's not diesel, it's not the price of gold, it's a stinking egg. And it comes out of a chicken. Why is it so expensive?
Yeah, they're cage-free. That seems to be all you can get here in the Colorado area, but still cage-free. It was still $2 and something, and now it doubled. Now I'm like, oh no, are they going to double again next week?
I guess we're not eating eggs anymore.
Because when we were in Utah, they were like almost $7.
This is why it's hard to be healthy when you don't have a good budget, because healthy food, and yes, I consider egg a healthy food, healthy foods are so darn expensive these days. Is your budget going up just because the prices go up? I don't think so. So I want to watch TV, and I turn on the remote, and look what I get to look at. I mean, this is TV at its finest, y'all. Check this out. Yes, the TV is on. If you got really, really close, you'd be able to see little lighted squares, like the different apps that you can use on the TV, but I don't see anything. Do you? No. So then we have Sean with her magic touch. Let's see what she can do. This is amazing. Y'all remember Happy Days? Fonzie with the jukebox? That's exactly. Sean must be related to him somehow.
The thing is, we started having problems with this TV like before Christmas, and we did not know. We just discovered they said the backlight probably went out, and Matthew researched it, and they said it's a big pain to change the backlight. You just better off getting a new TV. And this TV, this is our second one. Grand Design replaced the first one because something went wrong with it. And I'm thinking it's probably from bouncing up and down the road and stuff like that. So one day I pulled this TV out to clean behind it, and then I noticed it came back on. I'm like, oh yay, we get to watch TV again. And so now Matthew figured out if you touch it like along, see now it's out again. If you touch it on the frame or whatever, you can get it back on. But the annoying thing is when we're watching a movie, sometimes the RV doesn't even have to move and it goes out. Or the best time it goes out is when it's on the spin cycle, and then Matthew can watch
forget
TV
it.
on the spin cycle. So
when it's on the spin cycle, it looks like John Travolta has done taken over, and it's just like a disco ball. It comes on and off and on and off, and it doesn't know where to stop.
So since the job situation and stuff, getting a new TV is not a priority. So right now it's still working, and we do have a TV upstairs to watch if we're desperate. But like I said, not high on the things to get list, but we figured out how to fix it. So right now it does not deserve to go in the trash yet because it still works.
Y'all, isn't that the craziest thing? If that's not the craziest thing you've ever seen, tell us what kind of magic type stuff you have going on with your RV. Certainly we're not the only ones who have this weird stuff going on.
I'm not gonna get it back on, y'all.
Oh, come on.
We want to watch TV. This was a different. Y'all are probably like, oh, Matthew's just sitting there pushing the button.
No. All right. Oh, you got it. All right, let's leave it.
They're not flying yet, y'all. We're waiting for the Miller moths. They're hiding under our slide. I guess I think they're hiding from the sun under the RV. We just don't want them in the RV. We have tried and tried. So Matthew's got some cotton balls with peppermint on it. Well, that's internet wisdom, right?
Internet wisdom, which never fails.
And we have all these flies flying around too. It's a really buggy season here in Salida.
There's 2 on this side.
And you're gonna make a note?
Yes, I'm gonna put 2 on this side.
I think they're gonna get in our bay, and that's how they're gonna breach the inside of the RV.
Uh-huh.
As you can tell, Matthew is doing a lot better. He's much more mobile.
Oh, yeah.
And they like to hide under the truck. I think they're looking for shade right now.
All right, now here's a question. I got 2 more left. I can find a place to put them by the big slide, or I can put them up here. I kind of don't want to put anything up here and mess it up because the Schwintek slides are very feisty.
So you're going to do 1 on each side of this one? Alright, y'all, and as soon as we're done with this, we're going in and making ourselves a note that we put stuff in the slide, so we have to remove these things before the slides come in. Y'all, look at these moths.
And I got this buzzing thing that won't leave me alone.
Alright, so are we doing any more?
Let's try that and see how much good it does.
Okay. Alright, y'all, we're getting the Honda out. Do I need my gloves?
I don't know. I don't know how much you're going to be participating.
Ah. I'm supposed to help.
Well,
Y'all, he did not let me help. You weren't supposed to do that.
I know I'm in trouble, but I had to do it.
Y'all, tell him he's in trouble. It's only been 5 weeks, and the first thing he lifts, not a bag of trash, he lifts a 40-pound generator.
It's closer to 50.
He's not helping his cause.
But I tell you what, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm not going to do my usual jump up on the tailgate pit.
Now this reminds us of our friend Kelly. We saw him do this countless times at Bash, go up and down his, what, step ladder?
Yes, and let me tell you about our friend Kelly. Our friend Kelly and his wife Wendy were in a side-by-side. And they were on a trail that should not have been a trail, but they didn't know. They didn't know it was coming. They didn't know it was coming up ahead. They ended up sailing over, I'm calling it a ravine, a cliff, whatever it was. I'm gonna say a few hundred feet down. And long story short, they should not be alive, but they are. By the grace of God, and they'll tell you that, by His miracle, they are alive. And he is determined. He's had surgeries, she's had medical issues, and yet they're both up walking. He uses this thing, he goes up and down, up and down, up and down, all the time. He's not gonna let it stop him, so that's part of my inspiration to get back out there.
Are you doing the gas or am I doing it?
I'll let you answer that question.
Don't overdo it now. We gotta leave here on Saturday. Y'all, I think this is the very first time we've really needed to use the Honda, but it's only the third time we've actually cranked it up. We cranked it up when we got it because we wanted to know if it worked, and we tested it out. And then we ran it a month later at a state park. We had hookups. We didn't need it, but we needed to run it, and now we really need it. So third time, right?
Third time's a charm.
See, y'all, he's walking pretty well. He doesn't have his cane.
Nope. All right. Believe it or not, Hondas are not first pull every time it's going to start. This one is vacuum based, which means, you know, I just filled up with fluid, right? With gasoline. So the gas has to get somewhere. It needs to get where it's going. And that, if you haven't used it in a while, you have to actually pull this cord to get it to go where it needs to go. And then it, by vacuum, it sucks it into where it needs to go. So you might have to pull it a few times if you haven't used it in a while.
All right, here it goes.
Oh, it'd help if I turned it on.
Oh, great. There's our Honda rocking and rolling. All right, y'all, because we got a Honda,
It's like a big red target.
even though we're only running it for today and then we're going to put it back up after it's cooled off because we're going to be leaving in a couple of days, we're still going to lock it up. Life is a bug highway and I want to fly into your RV. Y'all, it has been quite the adventure here.
That's so true.
In Salida. We are coming up on our 4th week, not in the same spot, but this is our 2nd spot here in Salida. The bugs were wonderful in our first spot, and then they were kind of good the first week we were here. And then the weekend hit, and then the Miller moths came.
And if you're not familiar with Miller moths, they are big, juicy, dumb
See,
moths.
how do you know they're juicy? Have you eaten one?
No, I've disposed of many.
And when
I mean dozens.
when he disposes of them, they kind of explode into this dusty,
Like a dust cloud. Anyways, from the camera angle, you probably can't see much of the mountain, but trust me, we got pictures that we're gonna put on Facebook. Amazing mountain views, totally amazing. So you gotta take the good with the challenge here. And the challenge is, the more beautiful an area is, there's something that's gotta be wrong with it. And around here, it's Miller Moth Migration Month. So that's our challenge with this beauty.
Before we actually decided to stay in Salida for another couple of weeks, we were starting to look closer maybe to the Denver area just to see if there was something in the state park or something. But then I started reading the reviews, and people that were there in May and part of June were saying my RV is infested with these Miller moths. We're like, okay, we don't want to go anywhere near Denver. but now I think they're because I think I heard they start off in Kansas and Nebraska, and then they kind of migrate into the mountains of Colorado, and I guess they're starting.
We're here.
I guess they're starting to make their way here. Now, we've seen horror videos on YouTube and stuff of infestations of these things, and we have not gotten it that bad. But let's tell you some tips that we've done. We put it out on Facebook. Hopefully, if you're not following us on Facebook, we put some questions out on there. And Matthew actually asked the question, how do you keep the Miller moths out?
So one thing that people consistently say is, and we've tested this out, and it hasn't been very bad since we've started this, and that is peppermint oil. Now, we don't use any old peppermint oil. We use essential oil, which is like the essence of, I don't know, where do they get peppermint from? Whatever they get the peppermint flavor from, I have no earthly idea. It's an essential oil, so go look it up. I'm afraid I'm not a wealth of knowledge when it comes to that, but essential oils are supposed to be better anyways. We take them and we put them on cotton balls. And you get where I'm going with this. In the corner of the slides on the outside where the moths could get in and where we actually found some, peppermint oil. That's what we did. Other people are saying get a bowl filled of soapy, sudsy water, put a light above it. We didn't do that. I can't tell you that works. Some people use bug zappers. We haven't tried that yet, but we are looking to.
Y'all, you never hear, I mean, when you grew up, right?
Inside bug zapper.
You had the outside bug zappers, which I don't really know how well they work, but now there's an inside one, so I guess...
Yep. Which we are looking to try.
Right. We're not in a big town where they sell them, and we haven't been able to get packages sent, because by the time we found out, it was just too late.
Oh yeah, too late.
So that's something we want. We're hoping it's coming to the end of the season. So everything that we've done so far, before he did put the cotton balls in there, we think some of them did start to get in the bay. So what happened was we always leave our front door closed, because people are like, oh, well, keep your door closed. Well, we do. We keep the shades drawn, and they still came in. So then we started keeping the light off that was by the front door. Maybe that was attraction. I'm talking about inside the RV.
Because you know our front door has that opaque window. You can't really see through it, but you can tell if it's light. So that's the any light close to that is what she's talking about.
And
turn off at night.
We would just, and then that worked for like one night, because we just kept like the backlight on by where we were watching TV, and we got like maybe one moth that night. Well, then the next night it turned out to be a late night, and we both needed showers and stuff like that, so the light stayed on in the bathroom, and they just kept coming and coming. We didn't understand why.
Dozens.
And we have a vent behind the toilet, so we're thinking they saw the light in the bathroom and they were already in the bay, and they came up through the vent.
They saw the light, but they saw the wrong light.
So after that, the next night, we were like, we have to be done with our showers, wet wipes, or whatever, because we're boondocking, before it gets dark. So bathroom light never comes on anymore, so that helped it in the bathroom. And then
it really did make a difference.
We start shutting the shades before the sun goes down. I mean, you still get one or two, but...
And it gets a little warm when you can't open your windows at night, but if you're in an area that's heavily infested with these little things, that's just the best tip we've got for you. Make it as dark as possible from the outside.
And then one other tip that we actually learned from another channel, because they had got infested with the Miller moths last year, they came through Colorado, is put those screen covers on your water heater. And what else is it on? The water heater?
The furnace.
The furnace.
Now, rumor has it that that has something to do with warranties and stuff, so you got to make your own judgment call on that. We have decided, well, number one, RV's not really in warranty anymore, at least not that part of it. Number two, it's not going to hurt anything. We're convinced it's not going to hurt anything. It's better to have it so them and the dirt daubers in the summertime and all them stay out. So far so good. We're going to leave our little screens on. That's
been our tip so far with the Miller moths. So hopefully, I guess another funny that I wanted to say is when you first become an RVer or full-time RVer or any kind of RVer, you're like, oh, this is wonderful. You have no kind of pest control, right? Now we carry like home defense. We have the Taro bait for the ants. We have the Zevo plug-in thing. We're gonna get a bug zapper. We've got fly swats. We've got mouse traps. You need an arsenal. An update on the lady that visited our site when we first got here. She never showed up again, but because of that, we were just on edge, and we didn't really appreciate that. And the reason we were on edge is because before we ever got here, talked to a local that has lived here her whole life in Salida, and they were talking about another boondocking site that's been inundated with drug dealers and stuff, and
because the Forest Service does not keep up with it.
Vehicles getting stolen. So we were already on edge from that talk, and then she just kind of shows up and walks around our RV when, I mean, there's so much space out here, it's like that was not necessary at all. But we did not see her again, but we did try to put our truck closer to the entrance of our spot to try to keep that from happening again. Oh, but that was the other thing we wanted to mention, and we haven't seen them since, but those first 3 or 4 days we were here, the cops were out here making rounds and stuff, so I don't know if this is a known area where they have to check, but they haven't done it this week, but that very first week they were making the rounds too. So.
And I personally have come to the opinion that I like it when I see law enforcement in a boondocking area. It shows me, and it shows around here, there is not a whole lot of trash. You'll still have to do a little site pickup. Trust me, you will. But it's not trashed like the Santa Fe area, for example. Remember when that video came out, y'all? Big, huge piles of trash? It shows when they take care of an area. And they do take pretty good care of this area in terms of policing it, making the rounds. People must know the rangers come by, the law enforcement comes by. It looks pretty darn good around here. And
then we want to get back to Matthew is doing really well.
Hey. No cane today.
Yeah, he hasn't had a cane in about a week. Y'all saw him get the generator out.
And this is after that happened, so I'm obviously feeling good from that. No repercussions.
Starlink is on the ground still. Y'all find out at our next spot where we stay for a couple of weeks if Starlink goes back on the roof, but he's just he hasn't been on the roof in 5 weeks. I do the roof stuff, so but he is making progress. He's been able to go shopping now because he actually likes to go into Walmart. And
I do. We do everything together. I don't like to sit in the truck.
It's an easier shopping trip, honestly, because when I'm by myself, I have to call. I'm like, which one did you want? And I've already bought a couple of wrong things. I bought the wrong trash bags, and oh my goodness, he was like, oh, I can't believe you did that.
So I'm listening to my tunes in the truck, and I've got the surround sound going, and all of a sudden, ring, ring, here we go. 24 phone calls. Which cracker do you want?
Sounds wrong. Which cracker do you want?
Well.
Anyways, y'all, to get back to it, last week was, I think for me, maybe for Matthew too, just because of the situation we've been in with the jobs. You know, I've applied for jobs, didn't get jobs yet. My job's ending that contract that the manager said it's supposed to end, you know, but she seems to keep moving, what is it, the football or whatever? Keeps
moving the goal line. And her boss is not very communicative at all. So it's just kind of guessing game.
And then last week was my dad's birthday came around. It was Father's Day. My dad has already passed away. And it was just a really difficult time. And I hit a breaking point, and I just reached out to friends and stuff like that, and they sent me, you know, words from scripture and stuff like that, and they were there. And it's just sometimes you need your cup refilled back up. You can get to that point. And so we just are relying heavily on our faith because it was Matthew's health and us not getting out and being able to do stuff like we used to, and then the job situation, and I'm sure there was a lot of other things too. But I wasn't even talking to our friend about my situation. It just got brought up. We're talking about something totally off the wall, and then she just how she spoke it was directly from God, because that conversation was not going that way at all. All this to say, when you're struggling, don't keep it in. Just reach out to people and let them know, because you never know when you're going to get that encouragement, and it's going to help a lot. And all this to say also is RV life is not perfect. It's still real life. You still deal with real life problems. And if we were still in the sticks and bricks, we would still be going through this. So it's not like,
it doesn't
maybe
matter.
You shouldn't be doing RV life. You need to be. No, we would still have the job loss and stuff like that, and have to look for income and everything.
In fact, it would be more expensive.
Yeah,
for us.
Just, right. It's just because when you're in RV life, you can boondock for free out here, right? You don't have a set mortgage that you have to deal with, or set rent that you have to deal with every month. So